Hey everyone, it's Shelly. Today we're going to do some Zip Forms training. By now you should already have your Zip Forms account set up, and go ahead and get logged into Zip Forms, and I'm going to teach you how to add new templates. These templates are going to help you when you're starting a new transaction to move through your paperwork quickly and efficiently and make sure that you're not missing any crucial paperwork. So once we get logged in here, these are all my files that I have working right now. But go up here to templates in this area on the top toolbar, click on templates. And what we're going to do today, let me delete these. I'm going to teach you how to add a residential listing. I'm going to, now that we're in templates, go ahead on the left and hit new. And we're going to go, this template is for a new listing. And I'm going to call this residential listing example. It's residential, and we do want it to automatically apply the template when we start a new file. So go ahead and select that there and then hit save. Now we're inside our template here. So first and foremost, what do we always do? We add our IABS. Now most of you will already have your IABS saved to your hard drive. It will have all of your information and the brokerage's information. So go ahead and hit add doc, and I'm going to browse for a new document, SNS IABS. And I'm going to make sure it's not one that I have already signed. So make sure that it's blank and get that uploaded into your file. All of your forms that you're going to find, whether they're already inside your transaction or not, are going to be over here to the right. So say you're working in a transaction and you need to find additional forms. This is where you're going to find them. So first and foremost, we want our exclusive right to sell. So I'm going to type in exclusive. Now, if nothing pops up, remember this Houston Association of Realtors drop down right here. Click on that and select all. Most of our forms are going to come from TAR and TREC, so you want to be sure that you're looking at all of these. Okay, that word did not pull. So I'm going to type in residential. And let's see. I am looking for exclusive right to sell. Okay, maybe I typed in the wrong thing. Are we looking at all? Okay, it's because they have it abbreviated. So you may go through this, when you're looking for forms, try typing in different words. But as you go down here, what we want is residential listing, exclusive right to sell. So you can see that they didn't type out residential, they didn't type out exclusive. So when I typed in listing, I could find it. So this is the TAR 1101. Go ahead and click on that, and I'll show you what it looks like. It's going to add it to your file here. In order to learn how to fill all of these forms out, you need to attend a contracts training class. There are multiple different training classes based on offers, based on listings, things like that. So we're going to go back into our template here, and we added our residential listing paperwork. So now we're going to add our seller's disclosure. Type in disclosure. And there's two different ones. There's one from TAR and there's one from TREC. I like the one from TAR. It's much more detailed. Go ahead and add that one to your file. This is the one that all realtors basically use. So you're going to add that one. And then we're going to find mandatory homeowners association. So type in mandatory. Not all transactions will have this, but it's a pretty standard form. Most of them have that. So go ahead and select mandatory membership in a homeowners association. And the form looks like that. And then next we're going to get your water district form. Now, you have a MUD, which is Municipal Water District, Utility District. So let's type in water. Okay, so notice for purchase of real property in a water district. That is what this form looks like here. This is one of the more complicated ones to fill out. So make sure that you're doing that correctly. Not all properties will have a MUD, just like not all will have an HOA. Your MUD is going to be used, for properties that say they're in a MUD, and you can tell that by looking them up on the tax roll and finding out if they're paying taxes to a municipal utility district. Now, if they are not, they either are on City of Houston water, there's no additional disclosure for that, or they are on their own septic system. So if a property does have its own septic, they need to complete the information about on-site sewer facility. I'm adding both the MUD and the sewer disclosure here for you, so you have them in your file. It's going to be one or the other, not both, on your transactions. I do a lot of them, with this disclosure as well, so I'm adding it here for you so you have that. Another form that Lexi and I want you to add to all transactions is about flood. So even if the property did not flood, even if it's not in a flood zone, we don't have a crystal ball, we're not sure if it's going to flood in the future. So just be sure to add the information about special flood hazard areas so it's there. We want to be sure that you disclose. Keep everybody out of trouble and make sure that everybody's in the know. So this is a really good start for your residential listing template. The other form that you could add to this is called an intake, I believe. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Okay, probably not. Forget that one. When ZipForms did an update on the very front page, when you're adding a new transaction, you can manually plug in all of the seller's information and the property information, and it's going to automatically upload it into your templates. So that helps a lot, but now you have your residential listing template built. So we have that done. Now let's go back, and this is the one here that we did, residential listing example. So we're going to click on that, and we have all of our forms here. So when you come into your main screen, when you log into ZipForms, and you have a new transaction. So we're going to go to transactions, and I'm going to hit new, and let's say I have a new listing. Select new listing, and whatever I want to call this, okay. I recommend putting the address up here, or you could also put your client's name if you feel like you're going to be doing multiple transactions with them, and then you can just start folders within the folder. So this one's residential, and the template that I want is residential listing example, the template that we just built. So I'm going to hit save, and it's going to open up a brand new folder for me. Now I am in a new transaction. This screen here is like your intake information. This is where you can put all of the information about the property that you want to add to your forms. You can also add your contact information here. There are lots of areas where you're putting lots of information in through all of our systems. ZipForm is really important because it will help you save time in the future when you're doing additional documents. Then once you do that, just hit save. Your parties, this is where you can add all of the contact information. Documents, these are all the documents that we added. So when it's time for you to go in and fill out your documents, you're simply going to click on it and begin typing. Now, if you filled your parties in on the other screen, they're already going to be filled in here for you. The address is already going to be filled in. The broker's information, obviously you know who your broker is, fill all of that in. Attend a contracts training class so you know how to complete the rest of it. But this is where you freehand type all of the information. Make sure you hit save, and now you have your transaction folders built. Let's go in, and now that we have your residential listing example, we're going to do an offer for purchase example. So I'm going to go to templates again. I'm in templates, and I'm going to hit new. We're going to do new purchase offer, and I'm going to call this new purchase offer example, and we're going to do residential, and I want it to automatically load. Hit save. All right. right, now that we're in here, first and foremost, make sure you add your IABS. So I'm going to go in and add S&S IABS that I already have saved to my hard drive, just like I did in the last transaction. Okay, and then for the offer to purchase, it's going to be the 1 to 4 because we're doing residential. So 1 to 4 family residential. Click on that there. You're likely going to need a third-party financing addendum if your party has financing. If your client has financing. So we're going to go in and add third-party financing addendum. All right. Now, if the agent that you're making an offer to already added the HOA or the MUD disclosure to your docs on the MLS, then you simply pull it from there and add it to this file. So what does that look like? Let me show you. Let me go to one of my listings and I can show you exactly what I'm talking about. So if we go into a listing that we know has docs on it, I'm going to pull my docs here, and let's say, I'm ready to make my offer. Agents should have your seller's disclosure in there already. What else should they have? They should have a T47 and a survey if they have one. They could also have the MUD if there is one, or the sewer disclosure, so on and so forth. So for this one, let's show you how to do it. I clicked on seller's disclosure. It downloaded it for me. This is the extra flood hazard disclosure. So this is something that I want buyers to sign, so it's on my listing. So as I'm presenting an offer to the listing agent, I'm going to acknowledge her docs, make sure that there are terms that we agree to, of course, but I want to be sure that I'm uploading those docs into my file. Now, I tell you all of that, it's not going to go in your template here. Your template is for basic forms for every offer. When you're making an offer, you're going to want to be sure that you're signing the seller's disclosure, but it's the one that the sellers have already filled out. So just go ahead and make sure you add it to the actual transaction. So for the template, we don't have a seller's disclosure in here. We're not adding a MUD. We're not adding an HOA. However, those are important documents when you're making your offer. So we have the 1 to 4. We have the third-party financing addendum for our offer. We have our S&S IABS. Other things that you'll need to add, again, are your seller's disclosure, signed by the sellers, MUD. You'll also need to add the mandatory HOA if it's in a homeowners association. Other things that you could possibly have, non-realty items. Non-realty items are going to be things like refrigerator, washer, dryer, television, security system, anything that could be listed in exclusions but the buyers want to keep. Even if it's not listed in exclusions, go ahead and put it on your non-realty items. That way there are not any questions about what gets left and what doesn't. You have your non-realty items here, and we're also going to add our flood disclosure. Again, doesn't matter if it flooded, it's not in a flood zone. We're going to add special information about flood hazard, so it's already in your file and you don't forget that one, whether it is or is not in a flood zone. So now you have your template here for the majority of things that you're going to need to work on to make an offer. Every transaction is different. You could have some additional forms. These are really good basics here to get you started. So I'm going to go back here, and I now have my new purchase offer example. So we've got that there. Now, there are other transaction templates that you're going to need to build over time. As you become more experienced, you will know what forms go in what templates. Feel free to add as many templates as you want. If you'd like to do one for commercial, you can add that. If you'd like to do one for vacant land, you can do that. Farm and ranch, you can do that. There are lots of different templates that you can add, but this will just help you, become more organized as you start all of your files. So I hope this helped, guys. I hope you learned a lot. Give us feedback, give us questions, call Lexi or I. First and foremost, if you